What's going on there, everyone? Now, this article is from Red State. I will start by full disclosure. Red State is a very conservative-leaning site. But this is where I'm at, and this is where this story is coming from. So this story hits me, it's rather close to home for me because I live in Virginia. I live in southern, well, kind of middle, central Virginia, really. But, yeah, so let's get on with the story. Parents fight Virginia school districts' transgender policy that takes away their right to know their own children's identities. Yeah. This is what you get out of Arlington, because Arlington is a super liberal city. Most of the extreme part of Northern Virginia, near DC, is where all the liberals in Virginia really congregate. The rest of Virginia, I'd say probably 90%, is rather conservative leaning. Some of them still claim to be towards the left, but they're very centered left, if not more center right. The city's public school system is set to enact a transgender policy that ain't getting it with a bunch of parents. The policy would allow all students, to choose their gender, and the school to keep the children's identity hidden from their parents. Whoa. From the official policy statement as reported by the APC, information about a student's transgender or gender nonconforming status, legal name, or gender assigned at birth constitutes confidential personally identifiable and medical information. Disclosing this information to other students or parents or third parties by an Arlington Public Schools staff member may violate privacy laws such as the Federal Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, as well as any information that may reveal a student's transgender or gender nonconforming status to others, including parents or guardians and other school staff, unless legally required to do so or unless the student has authorized such disclosure. So what they're saying is these minors that can't do anything for themselves can hide something. Them and the school can hide something this kind of a big deal from their parents and not let them know. Well, that doesn't seem right to me. That's not right at all. It should go without saying, outside of cases involving the populace can agree is abuse, any law or policy that the government to take precedence over parental rights is really, really messed up. You can see there's a lot of opinion in this. This is why I generally don't go to Red State for my news. But wait, there's more. According to the proposed cool new way, Arlington students would be able to use whatever bathroom they want, whichever locker room, be able to compete athletically against whatever sex they prefer, and receive the pronouns of their choice in the way they're addressed. I must say, remove the sex component of this, which would give guys access to the girls' locker rooms, and take away the parental right issues, and you've still got yourself a big whopper of a problem. One of the lessons children and teens need to learn is that, unlike Burger King, you don't get to have it your way. Check out the fantastic song in the video below. I'm not going to do that. What insane... See, I don't like the way they write. Not a big fan. Parent Maria Keffler got wind of the policy from a friend who came upon it upon the district's website in February. Man. The pair showed up at the school board meeting and were shocked by what they discovered. Representatives from the local transgender activist group were dishing their wish list to administrators, district officials, and attending students. It's mind-boggling to me. This group of transgenders throughout the whole country is like 0.0001%, or it's some ridiculously no. How are they gonna sit here and come out and say go to one or two meetings and then get their way for everything? Why have they made everyone else so scared of them? When things like this are clearly not commonsensical, and they're just, I mean, that's ridiculous. Not even telling the parents what's going on with their own child, which they are in charge of fully 100% until that child is 18 or becomes an emancipated minor. It blows the mind. It blows the mind because it's nonsensical. It's not reality. This is not reality. What? Yes. Though disallowed from speaking that night, the two women spread the word on the school's plan. A group of five got together in March and formed the Arlington Parent Coalition, complete with a website. They went to board meetings and demanded more info. And, says Maria, the district lied to them. Only 5 parents got together to start this. That's liberal districts for you. Only 5 parents. From TDC. They were surprised to learn through a Freedom of Information request that the school had been meeting with the activists from the group, the Arlington Gender Identity Alliance, since September of last year. When 5 of them met with 2 administrators in early April, asked about the policy, the administrators said they were just discussing the policy and had not yet written any drafts. A few days later, Keffler obtained 2 drafts of the policy through a Freedom of Information request. They just blatantly lied to us about it, she said. The district intends to implement the policy in 2020, and it's set to be approved on June 18th. Parents had till May 28th to read the final draft and submit comments online. Mary Hazard of the APC told the Daily Caller the whole process was a bunch of bull. The way they presented it to the public just demonstrates that this was a process that was at the service of a special interest group, not the public. Exactly right. That is exactly right. Because these are special interest groups that cater to nonsensical fairy tale world. This is a clown world we live in, people. Where was the public engagement, she added. No effort is what this timeline suggests to me. Over 170 people have signed a petition to delay the policy, but according to Maria, many are afraid to speak out. Of course, because this is what happens when you speak out on anything that may be seen as a conservative viewpoint. People will lash out at you. The left will go crazy, they will go insane, and they will lash out at you, and they will try to dox you, they will do all this crazy. It's insane, the world we live in right now. These people are thinking in a very, very common sense way. I mean, they're using actual logic, and it doesn't seem to matter. And they're scared to do that. That's pretty frightening when something is affecting you and your child, especially when it comes to affect your child, and you can't express your opinion for fear of some type of retribution. That's crazy. Suppression of debate is all over this. Every time we say anything with concern or caution about this policy, and again, we're just focusing on parental rights and girls' protections, immediately it's homophobic, transphobic, I'm a hater, a bigot, and sometimes religious zealot gets thrown in there. Yeah, your typical progressive talking points when someone disagrees with their opinion. I'm glad everyone sees this, though. Apropos, BlueVirginia.us ran their May 12th piece on the story with the headline, Transphobic Arlington Parent Sends Letter to Arlington Public School Staff. Exactly. That's the narrative that they're going to go with, hoping, someone like CNN or something like that will probably make this big news sooner or later. This isn't Arlington's first transgender rodeo. I'm not going to click on that. The specifics of transgenderism aside, I just can't believe that this sort of thing, social, sexual, and cultural ideology, is part of school, which it should not be. School is supposed to be where you get a real education, not where you learn about fantasy. In my view, school should only be about foundational academic subjects. That's not just your point of view. That's a realistic point of view. I miss the days when everyone was just told to shut up and sit down. Now it seems like schools only say that to parents. So this is where we're at. This is where we are at. We are at a point to where a small little advocacy group can completely upend a whole school district because why? Because why? You know the old phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think that applies to a lot of the situations that are going on in these schools and on college campuses. They're trying to change everything to conform to a radical leftist type view. And all that's going to do is make the whole country end up just falling into the gutter. We're raising kids who are pretty much taught, or from a progressive standpoint, they're being taught to not believe in reality. It's just insane. It's crazy. It boggles the mind. Kind of makes my head hurt a little bit. But yeah, I'd like to hear y'all's comments on this because I don't think this should go down at all. I think it's against parental rights. It's wrong on so many levels. We need to really stop capitulating to these small groups, especially if it just doesn't make any sense and it's going to cause further problems down the line. You're going to have a bunch of guys going into girls' locker rooms and stuff like this. Something bad's going to happen from this. They're creating a situation that could influence kids to do stupid shit. Excuse my language, I apologize for that. It's just a very frustrating subject. But like I said, I would love to hear your comments on it. Whether you're for it or whether you're against it. It's always good to have a little bit of debate and conversation. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. And I will catch y'all on the flip side.